Morning, Year 8. Hope you're all well. Today, we're going to do another experiment, another virtual experiment using that same website that we used before. But before we do that, let's look back at the experiment that I set you to. Now, this was it. What you were doing was you were increasing the number of pumps of air that you were putting into a container, and I was asking you then to record two things. I was asking you to record the pressure, and I was asking you to record the wall collisions that the air particles had with the sides of the container. And these were the four questions that I asked you to think about. So the first one there, as you increase the number of pumps, what happened to the number of gas particles inside the container? Very obvious. You should have noticed that as you put more air in, obviously there's going to be more air particles inside, gas particles inside that container. Second one, as you increase the number of pumps, what happened to the pressure inside the container? You should have noticed that as you put more air inside the container, the pressure went up. Third question, as you increase the number of pumps, what happened to the number of wall collisions? You should have noticed that the number of wall collisions went up as you increased the number of pumps and into that container. And the last one, can you explain why a tyre gets firmer as you put more air in? Well, really it kind of ties in with that third question here. The reason is because there's more gas particles inside the tyre, there's more gas particles hitting the sides of that tyre, and that's why the tyre feels firmer. It's all about gas particles hitting the sides of the tyre. Now today you are going to do a second virtual experiment. You're going to need to open up that same website. Okay, again, click on Intro. Eventually, click on Intro. You've got the same thing again. This time we're not going to worry about counter. Okay, before you go any further, can you make sure please that you set the units for pressure to kilopascals? Make sure that you set the temperature please to degrees Celsius. Okay. There is also a worksheet that I have attached for today's work as well. This time we are going to investigate how temperature affects the gas pressure. That's the aim of today's virtual experiment, to find out how changing the temperature affects the gas pressure inside a container. We've got a results table. So this time in the first column, our independent variable this time is going to be the temperature. Okay, and I'd like you to test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different temperatures. The outcome that we're going to be measuring, our dependent variable, is going to be the pressure in kilopascals. And there are 4 things that I would like you to consider in today's experiment. So what happens to the pressure as the temperature increases? What happens to the pressure as the temperature decreases? Can you explain why those things happen? You're going to need to think about what you learnt from the last experiment to help you with that one. This fourth one, what happens if you drop the temperature to minus 273 degrees Celsius? That's a very special temperature in science. It's actually minus 273.15. And also this question, what is this temperature also known as? I've also added a little extension to today's experiment. Can you put your results into a line graph? Now you can do this either on graph paper, and I'm hopefully going to attach for you a little template of some graph paper. If you've got a printer at home, you can print it out, or you can use Excel. If you don't have access to either of these things, don't worry about it. It's just an extension task for you. Okay, so to the virtual experiment. What you're going to need to do, we're going to need to put some air inside that container. So I'm just going to put 2 pumps of air into my container. Okay, into my container. There it is. There's all the air particles. You'll notice at the moment that the temperature inside my container is 27 degrees Celsius. You'll notice that the pressure is 1,183 kilopascals inside my container. Now down here, this little bucket thing allows you to change the temperature. And if you drag this slider, it lights a fire, and you'll notice the temperature starts I need to hold it up there. You'll notice that the temperature starts to creep up. Okay, if you let go of it, it then holds the container at whatever temperature it is that you want. If you drag the slider down, okay, you'll notice that it then turns into a bucket of ice, and you'll notice that the temperature starts to drop. What I would like you to do, please, is you need to test 7 different temperatures and record the pressure so that you can then do your conclusion. What happens if you drop the temperature to minus 273 degrees Celsius? It is possible to get it that low. You do need to hold the little slider down here. It takes a few minutes to get that temperature down to minus 273. Okay, but have a little play with that. Remember, if you make a mistake, you want to reset. If you click the little button here, that just removes all the gas particles from the container, and you can start again. Anyway, I hope all that makes sense, Year 8. I hope you're all well and you're all fit, healthy, and staying safe. And I'll see you again soon. Bye!